Show. I am your host, Aeneas Hawkins, joined, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend, Keith Goon Conley, as well as, we always say old school, new school, same school, but now we actually have the new school, and I'm officially converting over to that old school. I don't know if Goon's going to accept that or not, but the newest of schools, Landon Tangwall, is in the house tonight, also hosting us. We'll start with you, Landon. How are you doing post Bowling Green win? Where are we at right now on the spectrum of excitement for Penn State football?
Well, you started the parking lot with the equipment, I know that. I got to take blame for that one. We got on a little late tonight. The rookie had the equipment, clearly a mistake. The rookie said, "Dude, you're an old man. I don't want you carrying this. I got a strong back."
Well, I was trying to save Goon a little bit of mileage. So, but no, I think we're feeling good. I think honestly, I was talking to someone about this today. We went through a little bit of a test early in the season, and we've seen each time coming into West Virginia, loud crowd, with a lot of talk, delay at halftime for 2 hours. That would put a lot of strain on the team. And every single time, it seems like we have strong leadership to make sure we're doing the right things. And, so you see that in Bowling Green. We respond. We're down 17-7. Yeah. Come back, Drew Aller, calm, cool, collected. Like, it's really cool to see that. Shout out Mike here. Oh, man.
Sorry about that. That was actually a really good blooper to start off.
That's how you want to start the show.
Good.
Goon, I'll come to you next, but I agree with you, Landon. Although they were down 17-7, and everybody was frustrated at a certain point, from players to coaches to viewers, I never was worried that Penn State wasn't going to find a way to win that game. It didn't seem like it was out of control. But again, when you play football and you make mistakes against a team who, Goon, you mentioned, how many seniors do they have on their roster? Listen, 34 seniors, I don't care what school you go to. That's a tough team to beat. They played a lot of ball together. Goon, what did you see on Saturday?
Much like you, did not see us losing that game. I truly didn't. As the game was going on, I'm like, I know we're going to win this game, but okay, it's getting a little too close. Too close to come through here. But, I've been around the block many times, a lot more than you guys have seen. It's a tough time to play. It's a home crowd, this and that. It turned into be a really hot day. We'll ask our guest Tyler Warren how it felt in the field out there because, in the morning it was chilly. And then all of a sudden, boom, it got real hot. So I wonder how that affected our play. But, I'm of the old adage that I mentioned on Landon's show the other day about Colin Coward's. He said like 10 or 15 years ago, he's like, early in the season, you always bet on the team that has the most seniors and returning starters. Because they've been through it. They know what they're doing. They've already gelled, and they're just going out there and, the MAC is a heck of a program, a heck of a conference. It really is. They're tough guys, but what happens to the MAC is that they go and play 3 out of conference Big Ten teams, get completely demolished, and then they're beat up the rest of the year. But they do get the funding for their programs and stuff like that in those 3 games so they can stay above water when it comes to, keeping a team in their universities. But I did not feel fear of the game, of losing that game at any point, but I was slightly disturbed at how fast and quick they went through our defense in the opening drive.
Is that my cue to get involved here? Talk a little defense. Here's my thing, Goon. I agree with you. You don't want to see the defense come out there and struggle like that. But I will say I've been on the back end of an offense coming out and having a good plan and having a 6-year quarterback who knows where to go with the football if you give him too much pre-snap. And I think you can attribute some of the things we saw, some of those struggles from the defense to early season football. I think one thing that was a problem that I was concerned with was just poor tackling. From guys who you see who are typically secure tacklers, some guys getting run over, that running back making it tough on them. And again, a 6-year quarterback who it seemed like for the first half couldn't make a bad throw and knew exactly where to go with the football over and over again. But I will say this to maybe the disgruntled, slightly worried Penn State football fan when it comes to defense. They adjusted in the second half, and they look like Penn State football defense again. Sometimes you have your back against the wall. What good defenses are able to do is respond, come back with a new plan, tighten up the things that put them in a bad situation in the first place. I love seeing them create turnovers when it mattered. It didn't seem like they cowered at all. But again, you want to see them start games faster than that because the reality is, and Franklin used to say this all the time, you can't play 2 quarters of bad football against great football teams. You have to play 4 good quarters of football. It's early in the season. You get some of those jitters and some of that rust off, but it's not going to be acceptable when you play teams that have more talent than Bowling Green State.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. And also, like you said, you got to shout out Tom Allen because he only let up 3 points in the second half. I mean, that's a way to respond and adjust. And that's something that Manny Diaz and Brent Pry were both really good at. So I think seeing that from him is definitely a good sign. Like I said, we're tested early on the season. Is a very senior-heavy team with an older quarterback, a great run game. And so I think the team knew it was going to be a test. But that's a great way to respond. And also, I mean, you know the mindset as a player heading into a game right before a bye week.
Yep.
You start to check out a little bit. As much as everybody wants to say you don't, you think about it. You think about, all right, next week's going to – I mean, either way, you know that you get some time off. You get to watch college football Saturday, the following Saturday because you got the weekend off. You think about that a little bit. So, I mean, it's hard to stay focused. That's why I say I do think the leadership on this team is really strong. And someone that it really does come from a lot is Tyler Warren, who we're going to hear from in a little bit. So I'm excited to hear from him.
Let me just pause there. And I want to say something because neither of these guys have had the privilege of spending an extended period of time on the scout team. So for Landon Tangwall to sit here and tell you that he gets to check out during the bye week simply to me illustrates an ignorance to what a bye week looks like for a D squad All-American like myself. Let me just tell you, 3-time D squad All-American Aeneas Hawkins, you addressed me the right way. The next thing I'll tell you is you're scrimmaging literally every day of the week when it's the bye week. It's the worst week of the year. We can't wait to get back on a regular schedule because normally you may only practice on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then Thursday is walkthrough. On a bye week, Tuesday to Friday, you can count on 40 live reps against the other scout team members. We call them the Super Bowl. But again, Landon Tangwall, you're not a gritty guy. Didn't come from that background.
Listen, I had to do a little bit. I will tell you, shout out Nick Dawkins, who was on the show last week, where we had a bye week. And basically, he started naming every practice. Every practice was a full-on scrimmage for the bye week guys. Now, if you played, you get to have the week off. They're coming to practice like it's a JV game, and the varsity players are just hanging out.
It's exactly what it's like.
And it's a full-on scrimmage. And you just go at it. And so Nick Dawkins started making the suggestion that everybody should dress up. And we started wearing like tuxedos and like these really nice robes. And we'd be calling it it'd be like Whiteout Wednesday. And I was just going to war against Fatorma Moba. It was like these backups just going at it. And it was treacherous. But shout out Nick Dawkins for, I just want to say that I feel like he started that leadership early on. You can't always lead when you're a young guy, but now you see why Nick Dawkins is a captain, and he's given the pregame hype-up speech, and he does a fantastic job leading this team.
Yeah, Goon was just telling
these new school guys dressing up. I have no idea.
Goon is lost.
I was on Landon's show yesterday, the post-game show down at the student bookstore, and we talked a lot about it, about a lot of differences, and the same thing that we used to do during our bye week. And that was the coaches weren't there, so the analyst type of guys were coaching us for that week. But it was always crazy because it was like, when you play scout team, this D team, all that stuff, foreign team, they put a sign in front of you and say where you're blocking, what route you're running, and who you're throwing the ball to. Yep. But when you go back and now you're playing for 4 weeks now, you've been West Virginia and Bowling Green, and now they're like running Penn State plays at you in the huddle, and you're like, I don't know what the hell that means.
Yep. Yeah.
And they're like, they know exactly what they're doing as coaches, and they're just going to sit there and they want to see who's tough and this and that. So they're going to run dive kill all the time. So they're going to run, well, maybe not anymore, but they were going to run, so who is tough up front to run block, pass block, all this and all that. So it is a big week for that. But, I want to go back to the quarterback from Bowling Green was from Indiana.
Yep.
And it surprised me that Tom Allen didn't have a answer for it until the second half.
Yeah.
Well, having recruited that kid, coached that kid for 4 years, but in the same breath, that kid knew exactly what Tom Allen was going to be doing too.
No doubt. And I think this is what I would say. It's a combination of both. The kid knows what Tom Allen's calling. Tom Allen knows what type of kid he's playing against.
Did you see the love after the game?
I did not.
I saw that.
It's about a 2-minute hug, man.
That's awesome. That's
you gotta
cool
love that.
That's very cool to see. What I will say is maybe that kid developed a little bit since the last time Tom Allen had him, because I remember when we got ready to play him, we would do a breakdown on both the quarterbacks, both the starter and the backup, and we were not impressed when he was at Indiana. We were not worried even a little bit. So I think he certainly has improved since the last time I had seen film on him.
Was it him or was it the people around him?
I don't know what it was, Goon, but he was better than he was before.
When you're going to see Indiana and Bowling Green, I mean, who wins that game head to head?
Right now,
that Bowling Green team.
That Bowling Green team beat some people.
That Bowling Green
team
team
going to beat some people this year.
A lot of teams.
Well, I'll tell you that I was really impressed with their offensive coordinator.
Yes.
I mean, it looked like he was putting the defense at a disadvantage a lot with making them choose.
Yeah,
there was a lot of RPOs with fake run action too, so they were pulling the linebackers into the line of scrimmage and then throwing over top of them, and that's why you saw a lot of that intermediate passing working for Bowling Green. So I think that's, shout out to them. They came with a fantastic game plan and they didn't flinch.
What we're going to do is it's game 2. I mean, every good football team has a game where they don't play that well and they have to fight their way through it. You usually don't like it to be your first home opener. But it is what it is. Let's get that out of the way and move on.
Hey, but let's be honest.
That's what Franklin's saying, I'm guaranteeing you.
No doubt. 1-0, move on to the next week. Do they still blow the siren to signify the new week in practice? I'm sure they do. We could be Notre Dame fans sitting here right now. We are not. Yeah. So let's all calm down.
A lot of pressure was taken off the line by Notre Dame. So
no doubt about it.
Shout out to the Irish.
Listen, we talked about senior leadership carrying Penn State through that victory with Bowling Green. We got some of that leadership on the offensive side. Tyler Warren with a career day against Bowling Green. He was on fire, and we're going to bring him on right after this on the Blue White Player Show. Stay tuned.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get too quick to steak and lose.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get too quick to steak and lose.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Habaker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Habaker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Habaker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
Get up and get going. 98.7 The Fox, the Goon, and Ironhead.
Well, not exactly the Goon and Ironhead show, but it is the Blue White Player show live from the golf course here at the 19th hole and the beautiful Penn State Golf Courses. So we have our new co-host here, Landon Tangwell here, and what we're going to be doing in the future is when we have an offensive player, Landon and I will interview, and then we have a defensive player, Aeneas and I will interview. And Aeneas can tell all kinds of stories about his D squad heroics all the times, but you know, there's a guy to my right now who I have been watching for the last 4 years and been saying, you know what, I before I moved to State College in 2005, I lived in Richmond, so I know he's from northern Richmond and Atlee, so I've always had a little sweet spot in my heart for the man over here. And then, you know, Landon signs up Tyler Warren and says, hey, we're going to have Tyler on next week. I said, okay, so I hope he has a good game this week. And you come out and drop that, man. That was awesome, dude. So that's a great game. We lost. Set all kinds of records for yards and catches for a Penn State tight end. And let's not shake a stick at how many the tight ends that have come through Penn State. I mean, not just back in the day, but just in the last 10, just in the Franklin era, let's just say that. And then before that, you have, you know, we got how many tight ends in the NFL right now from Penn State? 7?
A good amount. But I mean, if we'll just talk Tyler's era, I mean, you came in, you had Pat Fryermuth. You also had Brenton Strange and Theo Johnson. I mean, what was that like coming into that room, obviously as a young freshman, and what, you know, being one of the aces, what did that mold you into? Because there's a clear standard that is only accepted in that room because we're even seeing it now with the young guys. But what did that mean to be in the room with those guys at the time?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the standard that comes with Penn State, why you want to come play tight end at Penn State. You get to play with great players like that, and I got to learn from, like you said, I got started with Pat when I was a real young guy and got to learn from him for a short time. But even Brenton and Theo helped me so much in my development, just being able to watch them. Two professional guys who are doing it at the professional level now, and got to see that in college and how they handled their business. So I kind of took what I could from them and made it into my own thing. But yeah, like you said, there's a long line of great Penn State tight ends. So I'm honored to be able to be in that room and hold up the standard.
So I'm going to tell you something, and that is the guy I played next to was Kyle Brady. Mm-hmm. And September 28th is my 30-year reunion for our Rose Bowl team. That cat's going to walk into your room, and you're going to go, what the hell is that? Yeah. My boy is 6'6", 250, chiseled still. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's actually been through the facility once or twice. I have seen him before, but yeah, they don't make him like that anymore. But,
see, I'd say you have the hardest position on the field, in my opinion. And to be a all-around George Kittle type of tight end. And that's I'm a pass-catching tight end and this and that. You don't have, then you got muckers and grinders out there. You don't really have the guys that have both. And the guys who can do both are so far ahead of the guys that can't. So I've been watching 4 years, 5 years now. I see what you can do out there, and you're definitely you're to be honest with you, think about it. You got to play slot receiver sometimes. You got to be a left tackle sometimes. And that's a hard position to play right there, and you do it rather well. So good for you, brother.
And I'll tell you, man. Tyler this past Saturday, he caught a pass. He caught a little out route, turned up, broke a tackle for about 25 yards. Then the next play, he was in the backfield, and he pulled and knocked a linebacker so hard into the ground that he knocked another linebacker into the ground. So
counter play coming from right to left.
He knows.
Right?
He watched it today. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. I know
he's playing coy. He says, "No, I didn't.
Listen,
I didn't do that.
I was pretty much in the room. I know that thing was played in the team meeting, and he got some applause for sure. So I just want to make it clear truly what Goon is saying, where he is an offensive lineman and a wide receiver all in one, and it really is impressive. When Coach Franklin said best well-rounded tight end in the country, he truly means it. So we're definitely blessed to have him. But Tyler, let's go back a little bit and talk about your recruitment and how you first got to Penn State. So going into your senior year, what was your recruitment like? What schools were you looking at, and when did Penn State really come into the picture?
So mine, in high school, I was actually a quarterback. So my freshman, sophomore, junior year, I was pretty much just recruited as a quarterback. I was committed to Virginia Tech my sophomore year to play quarterback there.
A lot of boys from Atlee go to
Tech. Yeah. And and then my junior year, I was never set on just being a quarterback. That's kind of just what I did because we needed one, and there's no one else could really do it. So then I started getting some tight end offers and looks and stuff. And I'd been in contact with Penn State. If Penn State offered me, I knew I wanted to go there. That was the school I was waiting on. And I was in contact with them for like a year. and they never offered me. And then I sent the tight end coach at the time my basketball highlight tape, and then I'd been talking to him like a whole year. And then he called me about 5 minutes later, and they offered me right there.
Totally,
and,
dude.
I knew that's what I wanted to do. But yeah,
it's a huge thing, man.
Yeah.
It is an absolutely huge thing.
Goon, let me tell
play
you.
multiple sports and stuff. All right, here we go.
It's
a good counsel.
No, listen.
Power forward.
No. I'm not even. I'm gonna say
Magic Johnson did nothing on Landon Tangwell. Here we go.
I was never good at basketball, but I just gotta tell. Tyler was said that he basically, he sent his basketball tape and he got an offer. I will tell you, I was a couple of doors down from Tyler in Nittany Apartments. And, anytime you hang out with Tyler, sometimes he'll just throw on his basketball highlights from high school and just kind of watch them and have a good, check this out.
Wow. They like to say that after they ask me to see them and I play them for them. Then the story always changes to, I just put them up on my.
That's probably a good point. I'm not going to lie.
There's a Penn State story of lore, and that is widely considered the best Penn State linebacker to ever play here was Shane Conlon. Okay? Tall, skinny kid. His legs were like this big in high school. I swear to God. That's when they had unlimited scholarships. He wasn't getting one. And then Tom Bradley said, Joe, let's go. We got to go see this kid play in upstate New York, up above Jamestown, New York. Joe offered him that night from watching basketball. And then turns into a 3-time All-American here at Penn State just because he didn't think he was big enough and tough enough athletic enough to play because he was in a small school. And then he went to go watch him play basketball and saw his feet and then saw how fast he was and how aggressive and that boy he was. I mean, I got to see this tape. What are we doing?
You got to
I don't have it on me anymore. I haven't pulled up.
You got it on your phone. I guarantee you it's on your phone right now.
It actually isn't.
I'll give you 6 minutes to find it, and I'll give you $100 because you have it on your phone. I don't know where it is. Here you go.
I'll tell you what, no. I remember, I'll never forget. I mean, this is like 2 years ago. And, anytime it's the month of June, that's when the recruits come and there's official visit weekends. And so the guys will all go back to the places where we live, and there's a basketball court. So you'll start playing naturally 3 versus 3. And I think it was like you, Olu, and Nick Dawkins. And they won like 12 games that night, I swear. It was the crazy. I mean, Nick Dawkins was just rebounding everything. So was Olu and Tyler. They were just rebounding and kicking it out, and he was just knocking it down. He's a lefty for those that do not know. So shout out to lefties.
Outside game, inside game. What do you got?
He's got everything.
I would say I'm not like excelled in any one position, but I feel like I have a good all-around game. I can shoot the 3, I can shoot the mid-range, I can work in the post a little bit. So I feel like that's kind of what I did all through high school.
Did you play basketball, Goon?
Absolutely.
Okay. What were your numbers looking like?
5 fouls a game. I averaged 10 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 fouls a game. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Philadelphia Catholic League, and it's pretty much a prison league. That's not a lie. It's tough, man. I mean, there's some guys in there, but isn't that? But like, I know the DC guys and the Cincinnati guys. I mean, that's some serious basketball in there. But the Philadelphia, and then you got to remember this was 89 and 90. That was the bad boys of the Detroit Pistons days. So I was Bill Lambier out there. I was just throwing bows, dude, just dropping dudes. It was the best. So I mean, you did not disappoint me. You're from Atlee, and I said, "There's no way he doesn't come out with some camo on." And you walked in, I was like, "Damn, you didn't wear no camo." But I see the hat now. The hat blends. It doesn't blend in well.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the most camo guy that you're not find in my area. But
you hunt, fish, and all that stuff down there.
I'm a big fisherman. I never hunted. My dad hunted a little bit, but me and my dad would go fishing all the time. There's a pond in our neighborhood, so that is something I do a lot. And then I picked up golf, as you can see, me and Landon the other week playing some golf. But yeah, that's
if I'm not playing football. Annapolis married good council boys. They're out there playing golf. He's probably wearing like shirts and pants like this.
This guy didn't even have a belt on when we were golf.
Oh, I didn't. No, he just put me on.
You wear a white belt now when you play?
No, I still don't. I said me and Drew Haller both said we probably have like one belt like back in our house and like our mom has it or something.
Can you play? I mean, I saw the video.
No,
I didn't watch it.
No, it was.
Can you play actually?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a bad day for me, but I mean, I'm all right. It's okay. I come out here a lot. I have a good time. Let's just put it that way. I enjoy myself when I play golf.
Well, sometimes there's only one thing that's easy to do with golf, and that's
what
imbibe.
I heard. So, I mean, do you play well?
No.
Oh, okay.
Once they put the bolts in my spine, and I woke up, I always say, my wife's like, "Why do you play golf?" And I'm like, "I don't know," because I'm like a cripple for like 3 days after because I had spinal fusion, all that stuff. So I said, "Why don't you play golf anymore?" I said, "Well, I used to play football. And then I wake up sore from playing a round of golf. Something's wrong here, dude." So I don't really do it. I like riding the golf carts.
Yeah.
And then at golf tournaments, I'm very good at putting. That's what I do.
Okay, well,
And
keep that in mind.
And
drinking.
I'm
Of course,
very
drinking.
good. I'm the entertainment.
We know
so
that.
when the people have the tournaments up here, they always put me with like the people they want to come back next year, have them show them a good time and all that
There
stuff.
you go. Like you're like the mascot.
So here we go. So the reason I'm here watching you your dad walks through my tailgate the one day. I don't even know how we even got introduced. Does he even talk about it? He stops by my tailgate every week. And
yeah. I'll be honest, he probably stops at about 100 tailgates. He's kind of the way he works is he got to go say hi to everybody he sees that's in a Penn State hat, kind of like the mayor of the tailgates. But he loves meeting new people and introducing himself. But yeah, I didn't get that trait as much. I'm more of a quiet guy, but he's
it'll come out.
Yeah. It'll come out eventually if I'm around.
It'll come out. It's in there. It's lurking in there, somewhere deep in there. So now a question I'm going to ask you, where the nickname came from. And the word I got was his dad should be named Psycho T, not him.
Yeah, I would definitely say the real Psycho T is definitely Terry Warren and not Tyler Warren. But yeah, the nickname came from Coach Howell. It was he was a UNC basketball fan growing up, and Tyler Hansbrough, that's what they used to call him. And he just said it one day, and then some people started hearing him call me that, and it kind of just started spreading out, and it stuck for a while.
There was no event. There was no weekend excursion with the guys. And
no,
that's not.
Dude,
nothing like that. Nothing like that.
No, that's about the furthest thing from Tyler, man. He really is. He's a really good stand-up guy. Truly, he was one of the best teammates I've ever had, and that's why we call him Psycho T. It's just because he's just the nicest, normalest guy off the field. But when he puts on the helmet, he's gonna try to knock you out of your cleats, and he's gonna catch about 150 on you. So. That's
146.
146, 8 receptions. Who's counting though?
I am.
Yeah.
Clearly, that was good.
So, Tyler, who are your guys that you look up to? I know you could say the Penn State guys and all that, because that's the guys you grew up and looked at. Who you modeling your game off of in the NFL?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of good tight ends, but like you said, the guys that do it all very well. I think George Kittle is a guy that's going to come to a lot of people.
You were going to go there, man.
Yeah, but it's hard. A lot of people say, but it's hard not to. You see what he does in the run and the pass game, and just the effort he plays with and the intensity. And I think that's kind of what I think sets great players apart, is just like the way they play without the ball and playing past the whistle, to the whistle, echo the whistle, stuff like that. So that's really what I look for in a football player, and I try and do when I'm.
What a tight end like he and you can do is, if you bring in the guy who's just a pass catcher, that changes the defensive alignment. They're gonna send in a nickel package and this and that, but you're out there, okay. They're gonna run the ball right now, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're running past them because they have some 240-pound outside linebacker on you who can't run, and you're going to run right by him. So that is the difference of what is a good tight end and a great tight end. But Kittle, did you go to his tight end camp this year, or is that just for the NFL guys?
No, I didn't. I think some college guys might go, but I think it's mostly just NFL guys.
It's NFL guys. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It truly is. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Manning passing camp. So
yeah.
It has a lot to do with it. I think it stems a lot from that. And then I know that Lane Johnson and Kelsey have done the lineman camp and stuff like that. And it's a great thing that those guys do. And I'm surprised you didn't get invited. But you said it's not really that college as of yet. But yeah, so Kittle, what they rank him, the number one best overall tight end. I mean, Kelsey's going to have all the yards. That's what he does, have a lot of touchdowns. But Kittle, he could set the edge. He can run past the safety or a linebacker. So you better have a corner on, because you got to treat him like an outside or like a slot receiver, because he's so fast. But he's also a dominant run blocker.
Yeah,
you saw that Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, can you talk about, because when you have to run block, I mean, this is an offensive lineman mindset, but a tight end has to have it too. It's nasty, it's physical, and you're trying to, just take the other dude down. Like, what kind of mindset do you have to get into and change back and forth from being a receiver to then being a blocker?
Yeah, I think it is challenging in that aspect, but it's really, you kind of got to bring the same mentality into the pass game and into the run game. Just, your intentions of being violent, and you having to move the guy in front of you who's trying not to be moved, and he's a great athlete himself. And I think it starts with Ty Howell, our leader and our coach. He's a letterman here, and you talk to the guys that play with him, and the stories I've heard about him, I know you can see him in the pregame, the way he's talking to us and how fired up he gets. He loves the game of football, and he's a physical guy, and that's what he preaches to us. He loves a pancake block as much as me having 3 touchdowns in a game. So I think that's kind of where it starts. And
multiple.
He also likes multiple pancakes too.
But no, well, Tyler did too, though. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, seriously, do you enjoy knocking someone down more than almost a touchdown? I mean, it's a good feeling to bury another dude in the ground. But I mean, a touchdown in Beaver Stadium. What are you picking?
I say
deep.
I mean, individually, putting another guy on the ground is really just one of the best things you can do as a blocker. You know that, but for the team wise, I think the touchdowns probably carry some more value.
I understand. Okay,
so it's a win-win either situation. I'll take either one of them, but yeah.
I like
That's a wonderful question right there.
It was, and I
actually had to think about it, and I was too. I was like, I don't know what exactly. Taking a man against his own will and just putting him where he doesn't want to be is fantastic.
It's demoralizing.
Are you a talker?
I'm not a talker.
Good. Nor was I.
Do you laugh like George Kittle at all? Do you ever like chuckle?
Yeah, I usually just like look at them and like they're waiting for me to do something. Like, what do you want me to do right now? Landon, it's not really worth it. I'm not good at it anyway. If I tried to, it's just not my thing. And I think honestly, I think it makes them more mad when they're getting mad at me and trying to talk to me, and I just don't even really look at them.
But a good one you can use doesn't take you out of your game, and you pick them up and say, "Come on, you're better than that." And that is the most demoralizing thing for a defensive player. Like, oh my God, I can't be mad at this guy. He just helped me up and he's cheering me on. Like, dude.
I've never heard that. That's a good one.
That's some old school trash talk.
Tyler Warren gets a 15-yard foul for talking to an opponent. I don't know what happened there.
What my dad used to tell me when I was like playing flag football, he's like, when you knock someone over like that, just look at him and say, all day long, baby. And that's when I was about 8 years old doing that. So that'll tell you about how my dad is. But yeah,
that's awesome. Anybody who's been around Terry Warren knows he's one of the greatest individuals around, man. He is always energized. So it's fun. You see why Tyler is who he is, man.
Tyler, what kept you here? I mean, you definitely were projected, mid rounds, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say. Obviously the team and just my friends I haven't, because I actually got to do my share to the team. We do that before games. The seniors get to share with the team on Friday nights, kind of their story. And one of the biggest reasons I love the game.
You did yours Friday night?
No, I did it West Virginia game. But one of the like the biggest reasons I love the game of football is just the teammates that I have and the memories that I make with them and the friendships, and that's really important to me. And I felt like I just had more to give to this team and this program. And Ty Howell's another great reason I came back, just to be able to play for him one more year and do all I can to help him. And then Coach Franklin's the biggest reason I came here when I was the 17-year-old in high school getting recruited, and I felt like I still had more I could give to him and his program. So there's a lot of reasons, and then Penn State in general, you know how it is, just the alumni system, all the fans, the support we get from the community is you're not going to get that anywhere else you go. So that wasn't something I was ready to leave yet, and that was why I came back.
So I know you said Valtech earlier. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask. We talked earlier about you being the young guy in the room with Pat Fryermuth, Brenton Strange, really great tight ends that are now playing in the NFL. What does it mean for you to be that guy now to some young guys like Andrew Rapplier and Luke Reynolds and Khalil Dinkins and those guys?
Yeah, I think it's an honor. Like you said, there's so many great tight ends that have been through the room, and to be in the position I am now is something I don't take lightly. And I know what those older guys did for me when I was a young guy. So just trying to do that for the dudes that are in the room now is really important to me, because I know how much it helped me and where it can help them get to, because we all want everybody to have success. So it's been fun. And, there's a great room of guys in there, that the young guys. Luke Reynolds is going to be a really good tight end. Rappelier's got as much talent as any young tight end I've seen since I've been here or played with. So I'm excited for both of them.
All right. So schools you were interested in, and then I'll wrap it up after that. But I mean, you said Virginia Tech, and you always wanted Penn State. Why is that?
I actually wasn't a Penn State fan growing up or anything. I just, once I got around the program and got to see Coach Franklin at practices and stuff and came to camp, I knew that's kind of where I wanted to be. And I was really just waiting on that offer. When I got it, I wasn't right away, because I had to, do it the right way and decommit and all that. But I knew that's what I wanted to do as soon as I got that offer with a place like the history of Penn State and the culture that they bring and the tradition that's here. That's something I really wanted to be a part of.
All right. Last question. Football's over. 11-year NFL career. What are you going to be doing? Even if it's not an 11-year NFL career, because you're looking at 3 broken down ex-football players who didn't do much in the NFL over here. So if it doesn't work out, or if it does work out, what's Tyler Warren going to be doing? What's he want to do?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but one thing I know what I want to do is I want to be in a position to where I can take care of the people I want to take care of and who have taken care of me my whole life. So that's my main goal. Whatever I'm doing, whether it's through football or I'm doing something else, it's so I can take care of the people that I want to and who have helped me so much so far in my life. So that's kind of my goals.
What's the major?
So I graduated last fall in advertising, and I'm graduating again this fall with a degree in telecommunications.
By the way, I thought you were going to say, I don't care what I do, no matter what I do, I promise you I'm not going to be a radio guy.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Sorry, dude.
Not too bad.
So we're going to jump out here to our last segment here. But Tyler, man, great job. Great talk. Good talking to you. Very good. Great
Appreciate
season,
it,
brother.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Continue.
Yep. Congrats on Saturday, man. Thank you.
WFXS, once again.
Your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7 The Fox State College.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food, get too quick to steak and lose.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get too quick to steak and lose.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelter, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Blue and White Players Show.
Oh, here we go. We're back here live. I'll take it from here. Hawk. Hey. So here we are back here with the Blue White Players Show. And we have usually have a segment here called the Blue White Players Letterman segment, sponsored by Atlas Therapy and our good friend Justin Kerpakis. We usually have a video of a guy zooming in or some different places where we've interviewed guys. But I figured, you know what, we got one of the newest Letterman here amongst us, to being one of our co-hosts. So we're gonna do some of the same questions and interview Landon and see what he's doing right now, why are we at this position, all that stuff. So
let's do it.
Letterman's Club member, buddy. What's going on, baby? How are you?
Appreciate it. How you doing? Let's get it. Means a lot. Means a lot, man. No, it's cool, man. It's an honor. And honestly, I will say this: since I've retired, I've gotten more time to be around some of the older guys that are Letterman around here, and honestly, a lot of guys that reached out when I did retire, and I got to build some really cool relationships. And it's an awesome brotherhood to be a part of. So that is one thankful that I have, where I have a little bit of extra time to be able to do cool stuff like that. It's cool. There's golf outings here. We just did that this year.
You play golf every week as a Letterman in State College. Trust me, there's a tournament up here every weekend that they would literally love to have a Letterman playing. And if you like it, dude, you could do it. You could take over that mantle. I was doing that for a couple of years. So
Landon,
you said, hold on, it was a medical retirement, correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's get that.
It was concussions. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yep.
Fighting Hawk and beating up.
Yeah,
Hawk.
beating up Hawk probably did a couple of them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Top of Hawk.
We were talking.
Hit
I
the ground.
want to let Hawk ask a question, but I just actually had Hawk on my podcast coming out next week. I'm excited about that. And we were just telling stories, and I was just saying how whenever me and Olu would come out and we'd see Hawk, like we'd get this extra juice to us that would just get us excited to want to like take Hawk and try to pancake him, because he was just always saying something smart and being funny. Right. So it was like, all right. Like I'm gonna give it to him.
You know how like the guys who had the snowboards and they wear the helmets with the mohawks on it. Is that what Hawk wore in practice? He had one of his followers out there.
Real quick before you answer that question,
you guys all fired up.
Real quick before you answer that question, I want to clarify to the viewers at home who may not know that Landon Tangwall is a clown. He never pancakes me. That didn't happen. He may have beat me several times, but I do want to make the clarification for the many viewers back home and for my mother who watches the show. This clown never put me on my back. You didn't raise me.
Hawk, I got him. I take care
honestly,
of Mrs. Hawk.
I will say Hawk was thoroughly good at not getting pancaked. There was like a technique where you might go backwards a little bit, but you made sure you were not going to the ground. That's a respect factor. Yeah. So I like that you were keeping. You had to keep that.
Yeah, there's a standard. The standard is the standard, as Coach Franklin says. You may move me out of the B gap, but the moment you start slamming me against my will, I can't take that disrespect. Not from a freshman. And this is the thing, Goon. This is what people don't know. We'll get into your story on a more serious note, but Landon came in. You got your first offer. You got your offer from Penn State in what, the 8th grade, if I'm not mistaken?
I was there. Summer. I witnessed it.
Okay, so Goon saw it.
I got a phone call and says, you got to come down to this football camp. There's this kid just demolishing kids. And I was like, all right, no big deal, whatever. They're like, he's in 8th grade. And he's locking out 4-star junior recruits.
Yeah, and let's put a name on him. I'll put a name on him. Yetur Gross Matos, NFL defensive line. I mean, Yetur, I just got done saying on his podcast, I didn't play with the defensive lineman who had more skill than Yetur did. He was a real football player. So Landon was 12 years old when he came to camp and was absolutely strapping up a future NFL DN before he started high school. It was incredible.
Yeah,
I tell you, I got a phone call.
Yeah, I believe it.
One of the reporters was like, "Dude, this kid is unbelievable. I mean, it's like an offensive line phenom over here." I was waiting to go down and see Jonathan Ogden.
No, my recruitment was really cool, and it was always Penn State from the beginning because I did. So I came up with my team in 8th grade, and Penn State always does a really good job with these camps that they hold 7-on-7 and then big man camps. And so if you were a good school in the DMV, PA, Ohio region, everybody would come. And so it really provided a cool opportunity to get around the coaches and see them, but also go against some of the other top players in the region. And, it obviously went well my first time. And I'll never forget that Tyler Donahue wrote an article about me. It was the first article I ever had wrote. And I just remember looking at it like all night. We took the bus home that night, and I was just reading it up and down. I was making sure everything was right, reading the comments. I was just so happy. I wish
Tyler would have called me. I would have said, I have never seen anything like this in my life. I swear to God, I didn't. I'm not lying to you. I'm not blowing smoke up your booty. I'm telling you right now. I was like, "Are you sure this?" And I need like a grade check. I need a birth certificate. Like when I played Little League baseball, my mom had to carry my birth certificate because I was like, "He's not 12. He's not 12." And he's 12.
Can you please explain how much did you weigh when you came out?
Dude, I was a little boy. I didn't get fat till like the last 15 years.
Really?
I came here. I was 275.
Okay, well that was a normal lineman weight.
Yeah,
back
it's
then.
pretty typical. 270.
We didn't have any kind of lifting, and by the time I went home at Thanksgiving, I was like 305.
Okay,
so I put that quick. Yeah, I mean, you guys had strength and conditioning programs and nutrition. That's what I say is the biggest difference of what I had to what you guys had.
Yeah, well, I mean, the players, they're bigger.
Not college. I'm talking high school.
In high school.
Like you guys had a program at Moeller. You guys had a program at Good Counsel. You knew what to eat. We knew. All right. In high school, I was told, if you want to gain weight, drink a beer a night.
Yeah, well,
and I was like, okay, all right,
let's do it.
And I'm sitting there drinking a Coors Light. I'm like, oh, I'm getting these calories in.
No,
I was just happy to be able to drink beer at dinner. What's up?
No, I did. I had to put on a lot of weight. So 7th grade is when I hit my growth spurt, and I went to like 6'5", right? And so 8th grade, I played wide receiver, and I was playing like outside linebacker, DN. And as you guys know, as like a fat kid growing up, I played offense, defensive line. I was the center and nose tackle, and finally I got a little skinny in my middle school years. So I'm thriving. I'm feeling good. I'm catching passes.
You were the guy wearing like the half shirts and like the tight. I know exactly who you are. Like the fluorescent pants. Like
he was like that when he got to Penn State.
I'm skinny now, guys. Look, hey, what's up?
That's just Landon Tank.
All right. So I had to set the scene. So then coming out of 8th grade, my dad sits me down. He's like, look, he said, you got Tangwall genes. He said, we played water polo. Our family does not do well on land sports. So he said, you're going to have to make a transition to offensive line. So next thing you know, I'm about 6'5", 185, the fall of 2016. Well, come the spring of 2017, next thing you know, I put on about 85, 90 pounds. So, and I'm playing in the spring league.
A lot of beer.
From high school. I would eat a peanut butter and jelly every night before I went to bed, sometimes 2. And I was constantly just trying to feed and eat. So that's why I got so big so fast. And I try to work out as much as possible. And it, turned out good. And I got to play with a lot of great people, even in high school, and go up against them, playing a good counsel. I got to play with Blake Corum, Keziah Izzard as a defensive tackle here right now. So I've gotten to play with a lot of cool people. So it was a really great experience for me.
That's a perfect way for me to wrap up my story, because I can remember I had the benefit of seeing you come into college. And at this point, I'm in my 4th year at Penn State football. I've been in a legitimate Power 5 strength and conditioning program for 4 years. I'm 21, almost 22 years old. I'm a grown man at this point. Landon Tangwall comes in 18 years old. Smiley, giddy, still watching Tom and Jerry before bed at nighttime. And he would just physically dominate me in the B gap with a smile on his face the entire time. And I've told people this before on camera. Landon here is the reason that I decided it was time. I remember the moment I decided I was done playing football. Him and Olu took me 13 yards out of the B gap into the red zone, laughing the whole way. And I get back to the sideline. I'm like, it's over. It's time for me to go ahead and get this degree and get back out of here. So I do want to get into, we talked about it a little bit earlier on your show, but the transition out of football, which is something that most people have to do after college. If they're lucky, they get to do it after NFL, but it happens for everybody. Are you realistically expected that time would come? So I kind of want to talk about that experience. You've obviously spun it around and put yourself in a position now where you're doing a bunch of really good things away from the field. But what did it take to get from being done playing football to where we are now?
Yeah, it was a lot of long nights, man. I'll be honest. Like we were talking about it, just getting real. Like those, when you stop playing ball and that's taken away from you, and that's your identity. As much as you want to say you're something else, you live and breathe it every single day. And you're on a schedule when as soon as you wake up to the time you go to bed, and you're used to that. And then all of a sudden that switches and you have all this free time and you don't know what to do. And sometimes you feel like you might not really have a purpose. Correct. So you have to start to kind of rediscover yourself and figure out, okay.
Definitely a depression.
Yeah. I think most players, it's whether you play 12 years in the NFL.
Because we are football players. And the breakdown is that every sport known to man, water polo in the Tangwell family, but somebody, you can play that until you're however old you want to play it. Football is the only sport when somebody tells you you're done, and it's over. You're not going to go play, pick up football like football that we know.
Right.
Football that we know. I mean, you could play some like pro football, 7-on-7, all that stuff. You don't want to. I'm talking about real football.
Yeah.
Like locker room stuff, practice stuff, and weightlifting and stuff like that. Being with your brothers all the time. When somebody says it, whether it's in high school, college, or the NFL, that comes. There's only a certain amount of guys who could go through the NFL and say, okay, it's my time. I'm done. And that's probably like 2%, maybe a 1/10% that play college football have that opportunity. And it leans on you. It really hurts you as a football player and as a human being that, okay, wow, I can't play football. Okay, what is my next purpose in life? You found it a lot quicker than most. But I'm sure that there were some dark days where there's definitely depression here. There's depression stuff that goes on that people don't want to talk about. Where you don't feel wanted, you feel like you're the outcast and stuff like that. Especially if you're in a football program and you're injured, that's a weird feeling.
Yeah,
you want to be there. You feel like you're healthy. You look like you're healthy, but with your injury, it was up top. And that's it really, really eats at you.
It does. It's difficult. So, that is something that I'm definitely passionate about. And I plan to, help people in the future, especially athletes specifically, transition to a life of normalcy, because I do see so many. Well,
we're not normal.
As normal as you can get it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. We are
to be in society.
Yeah.
To function in society and try to do something. That is something that I see, and I like I said, I don't think enough people think about that when someone has to retire and how they'll go through some dark days for a while. And normally you don't find that passion, and you got to find places to put it. When you're playing college football, it is a competitive environment. I mean, it is alphas everywhere. So when that stops too, it's like, okay, where do I put that? So try to do as many things as possible. So I try to work out as much as possible, play golf as much as possible. It doesn't do it. It doesn't do it. I remember, so I was playing right before camp started. I was playing a foursome with Nick Dawkins, Drew Shelton, and one other offensive lineman. And next thing you know, we come down to the final hole, and Dawg hits it about 20 yards short of the pin, and I'm in the sand trap. And so I'm a lot closer. And he's like, you want to hit it out the sand? Or you want to go back there? And I'm like, I'll hit out the sand. Like, I've been hitting it good out of the sand today. I feel good about this. So he's like, all right, let's do it. And I start to feel my heartbeat in my chest, because I think we're going to play for
the
comes out.
Yeah. So next thing you know, I'm like, oh, man, hold on. And Dawg looks at me. He can see, Dawg's a very good sense of character. He can hear. He's like, you're a little nervous. Huh? You didn't feel your heartbeat like that since you played ball. And I'm like, you damn right.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, anyways, I didn't get the shot out of the bunker. Long story short. And we lost to Drew Shelton. It was a bad day, but seriously, it is something that always does need to be discussed, and that we've all been through it. But you just try to find your way out of it. And one thing I will say is I'm so thankful that I chose Penn State, because people ask me, do you regret your decision at all? And I say, no, this is absolutely the best place that this could have happened to me at. It is family. I can't tell you how much just pouring support I felt from the Penn State community, from Letterman's to just alumni reaching out, trying to get my email, my number, to just call me and express, anything I need, just reach out. So when I felt that, it was a strong sense of community. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I want to stay in State College and live here, is because what I felt when that happened. It's a very, unique, cool place.
I completely agree, bud. I moved back here in 2015. I was living in 2005. I was living in Richmond, Virginia. And like I said, that's where, Tyler was on the north side. I was on the south side. But I was just sitting there, and I'm living in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm like, what am I really getting from being a Penn State football player? I want to be around. I want to go to Penn State football games and this and that. And somebody was like, where was the last place you were happy in life? And I said, State College, Pennsylvania. And they said, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
So, but I do have to ask these questions. We ask all our Lettermen here. Where else were you looking? Because I don't know this answer.
Yeah. So my top three was Maryland, Notre Dame, and Penn State.
Yeah.
Man,
not good. I wanted to express this from just the highest point.
You went 1-3 this weekend, so you're actually on the side of one right now. So.
I need to reiterate, first off, my hatred for, even though I'm from the state of Maryland, I have a Maryland flag tattoo on my arm. I hate the Maryland Terrapins with a burning passion, and I love when they lose.
Okay.
So I just want to put that out there. I used to go.
Went there.
Yeah, it was it was like a fraud tie. It was really just Notre Dame or Penn State.
Okay.
But so I went to Penn State games all of high school, and that was the run where Penn State went like 159 to like 6 as far as the score over a 3-year span. They destroyed Maryland 60, 70 points every time they went to College Park. And I would be there in the Maryland section as a recruit, because I was like, I didn't really care about going to the Maryland game, but I would ask to go to the Maryland game when Penn State was coming to town. And I would just enjoy just watching you guys beat. I remember your teams. You guys would just beat up on
2019, they canceled school the day before. They were like, hey, we want everybody locked in. This is the year that we beat Penn State. What was the score? They didn't score a point. We scored about 60 of them in their house.
KJ Hamler going down the middle.
KJ Hamler over and over again. Those were good times. Back to your story. Sorry.
No. I remember those. And I remember the coaches, then Maryland would bring us into the room after like a 66-3.
What do you say to recruit after that?
Hey, sorry about that.
This is why we need you.
Dude, I'll never forget. One of them would just
They're
come
stealing
in.
our signs.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how do you say like, hey, you should be you out there next year. Hey, come on now.
You want to be a part of
We
this?
can use you out there.
I'll never forget. There was a coach. I won't put him out there. I love him. He ended up being here, but he came in. He was the Maryland coach at the time, and he said, "We're gonna fix this." And then he turned around and just walked out. And then he was not coaching there the next season.
Then he was fired.
It was Maryland. I got some heavy hatred for them. But putting that aside, no, honestly, what it came down to is I remember someone at like 24/7 Sports told me that I ended up coming here over like 22 times over my high school career visiting Penn State.
Yeah,
I'm from Annapolis, Maryland, so it's a 3-hour drive.
That's my next question.
Yep, okay, we're gonna give it my fault.
No.
And no, it felt like home every time I came up. It felt like Happy Valley, truly. And if you've been here, just experience, I'll tell you, the summers here. If you live here, they're so beautiful here. It makes me fall in love. So
we had 3 seasons of the 4 yesterday at that game, by the way. When Hawk was at home sleeping.
Yeah, I watched that game.
I got there at 7:00 in the morning, and it was about 52 degrees, cold and rainy. So that was the fall, and then it turned into the spring, and then it turned into the summer where we all got sunburned the whole afternoon because it got hot.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got home at 7:00, we all had sunburn and the wind burn all over us, and then we're all sitting there just going to sleep quick. So,
real quick,
counsel.
I got to give you a shout out real quick for what was that sausage you made on Saturday?
My man here stopped by his first Goon tailgate.
I did.
They're legendary,
I came by the first Goon tailgate. It was awesome.
Now, what did you have? The Greek sausage?
The Greek sausage. The Greek sausage was amazing.
Shout out to Bell's Meat Market in Kane, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Shameless.
Big shout out.
Someone.
Unbelievable, dude.
Awesome.
So I go in there and they're like, "Oh yeah, where we go?" They had some good stuff. So
that's awesome.
Up in my wife's hometown. So
okay. So
how did you get to Good Counsel, which is in the DC Catholic school from Annapolis?
So it's an hour every single day there. Each way. So 2 hours every day. And so I originally went to St. Vincent Pallotti in Laurel, Maryland. So that was in PG County, which is about 30 minutes, so about half the time. And I was on that team with Kozai Izzard, who's here now, and Blake Corum, who everybody knows, unfortunately. And so next thing you know, that team kind of disbanded. We had a bunch of like 4 or 5 stars. It was a really good team, but everybody left. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to one of the top, DC, Maryland schools. And so I fell upon Good Counsel. I got to have some really talented teammates. Chris Jenkins, who played at Michigan, just got drafted to the Bengals. So I've got to have a really, good relationship with guys there. And it was the best place for me to succeed. And also the academic standard was definitely high. So it was, no, you don't believe that?
Oh, it's amazing.
Okay. I was going to say
that you realized that when you're 15 years old. I'm 15 years old.
Well, it was probably more my dad. But,
Yeah, exactly.
Now the truth comes out.
You got 3 Catholic school guys sitting right here.
Yeah,
that's impressive, guys.
That is impressive. Can I ask, is Good Counsel where Miles Dredd came out of?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. But he's
another Maryland guy. He was a.
He is. Well, we had a lot of guys. I'll tell you. I remember Marcus Allen growing up. He went to Wise High School, and that was like the big public high school in Maryland.
Yep.
And I remember going to see Marcus Allen as a kid, and it was like, yo, he's the coolest dude ever.
Yeah.
But we had some talented. We had Stephon Diggs went to Good Counsel.
Yep. Will Flaherty is a Good Counsel guy.
Will Flaherty is a Good Counsel guy. Yep. And then Kendall Fuller was there too. So, and it's cool because they'll come back and work out sometimes with us, and I'll go and do that as well. So it's fun to kind of be a part of a brotherhood where there's a lot of great players coming out of there as well.
Yeah. I want to ask you, I want to talk a little bit of Penn State football before we jump off of here. You are obviously very well versed on the offensive side of the football. You're breaking down the film weekly. In terms of the Penn State offense, I'll ask specifically about the pass catchers. What have you seen? Obviously, they've been more explosive than they were last year. The run game is going. Just offensively, what are some of the positive things that you've evaluated on film that leave you feeling good about the direction of the Penn State offense?
Yeah, I think first off, Drew Aller looks calm. He looks cool. He's dealing balls. And it is really fun to watch. And Trey Wallace kind of emerges as that wide receiver 1 against West Virginia, showing, hey, I can bail you out. I can give you those 50-50 balls, because it was like Kyle McCord. He had that with Marvin Harrison. J.J. McCarthy, he had that with Roman Wilson. So it was like Drew Aller deserves that. He should be afforded that. So to see Trey Wallace start to become that guy for him is really exciting. You still obviously got the guy we just talked to, Tyler Warren, as kind of his safety blanket, clearly. And then, now my question is, who can be the wide receiver 2? Seen some really good promise from Amari Evans.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. That's someone who can take the top off the defense. And it seems like Andy Kotelnicki is being going to be persistent on taking the top off the defense like we really haven't in the past. And that makes it a lot easier for a quarterback when you start to stretch the field out a little bit. But I got to give a huge credit to the offensive line room and Phil Troutwine. They have really built a special room in there of guys where it's like the Aces, where that standard is up there now. And I'm going to be honest, it wasn't like that when I first got here. So we're all very proud that it is now that. It's because of Philip Troutwine. It's guys like Juice Scruggs, Nick Dawkins, Olu Fashanu, those guys. So it's really cool to see now where we got young guys really starting to step up. And we got a lot of depth. You see Philip Troutwine played 8 offensive linemen in the game this past Saturday. So clearly he wants to build that depth. And, injuries unfortunately happen. But when you have someone that's able to step up and fill in at a high level, that's important. So it's really cool to see this offensive line humming, over 200 yards rushing in back-to-back weeks with 3 new starters, 2 sacks in 2 weeks. That's pretty good. Yeah. So it's exciting to see.
So we're going to end the show right now. So if we figure out the guests next week, you guys get them locked in or no?
Not officially.
Okay.
No,
but I will not be here. I'll be in on the NAG set. So I got my 2 new school next week.
Landon Hawk.
Nanu over here talking all kinds of stuff. So they'll be talking about all kinds of. Remember that music we had in the video and the music we had at practice? It was unbelievable. But
really new school next week. We're excited.
I can't wait. We're gonna change the whole show.
It's gonna be a good time.
It was a great show, dude. Welcome.
Appreciate it.
You're the man. Love
man.
it, guys. Thank you guys for showing up tonight.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you guys next week, same time.
WFXS, Hunting
Your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7 The Fox State College.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food, get too quick to steak and lose.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get too quick to steak and lose.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m., all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelter, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Blue and White Players Show.